Hello everyone. Today we need to go over basic object construction tools. We're going to create this project as you see here. Um, let's look at the dimensions. The first thing we need to analyze what the important dimensions we have and what we need to calculate, what the constructions line that we need to start with, and what the units. So we need to ask ourselves several questions before starting the project. For this one, I'm gonna set the units for decimals. I see here that we have round fillet 0.5, which all these small rounds here, as you see inside. Also, I have the radius 1.25. When you see TYP, that means they are typical the same circles. So we have three circles, the same radius. Also, here we have 2 times diameter 10 or diameter 1. Okay, so these two circles have the same diameter. This one here down here is 1.25. Okay, so this is what we have the data, and we have some constructions lines that we need to start with. We have the vertical line, we have horizontal line, we have one line with 30 degrees and another line with 45 degrees. So let's start working by creating the construction lines. Then we will create the circles based on the intersection of these lines. Then we're gonna have the other circles around. We're gonna create the big circle or the outer circle here using tangent radius. Also here we're gonna make a fillet using radius 2.5. This line will be tangents. So let's get started. Okay, let's clean up here what we have. Okay, so at the beginning I'm gonna create a layer just to make the construction line. To create a layer, we could go to the home tab, layer properties, you click on it, and as you see here we do have the layers. We click on this little icon, new layer, or just alt N. So I'm gonna click on that and make it construction. I'm gonna give it a name, and also I'm gonna give it a color, for example just red. I'm gonna give line type, I'll choose that one. If it's not there, I could make load and choose any of these ones, then okay. So I'm gonna choose the one that we have it here with ISO long dash dot. So I click OK for that, and this way I had the construction red and change the line type. I'm gonna exit that out. If I click on this little drop down menu, I'll get the construction. To make it current, I'll activate it by see that now it is the construction, which is the active layer. And then I'm gonna draw these construction lines. The reason why I need to create layers for this, when I finish, I can like turn it off if I want or turn it on as I want. Also, just to organize layers, always it is recommended to create layers. To organize your projects. Now let's get started. I'm gonna draw the horizontal line first, so I go on line. Let's make the ortho mode on for this one. So I'm gonna make it horizontal, and just randomly I pick any point there. Now I'm gonna create another line. I get it from the midpoint, let's say here, and I will go up. As we discussed before, if we need to change the length, we can use the grips, okay? So you can make it longer if you want. Hitting the escape button will get you out of the command. Now I still have one line here on the degrees of 30. So I'm gonna click on line, but at this time I don't need it horizontal or vertical. So what I will do, I will click on the polar tracking or just F10. I'll click on this little arrow and I'll decide here which pattern I need. Since it's 30, so I'm gonna check the 30-60. Okay, now I go the line and make sure you pick the correct points. Okay, so now as you see here, we do have this line showing me the directions. Okay, so what we need to get is the polar when it is 60 degrees. Okay, so when it show you the 60, you just hit that one. Now I need to draw another line when it is 45 degrees. So I'll click on 45 because I have here the 45 degrees. So I'm gonna click the line and make sure you're picking the correct point by using the O snap. Make sure you have the end point, midpoint, intersection. We're gonna use the intersection and we're gonna use the tangent. So make sure you have these activated. Now, we will go over the 45 degrees and I will start at this point. So again, it is line, pick the point and hit the 45 degrees. Okay. Just make sure we had the correct angles. Okay, so this is the 45 and now, okay, so here you go, and then you hit the enter. So as you see here, we get the 135, which is make the 45 degrees. And when you get it, just hit the enter to accept it and finish the command. So we finished all the construction line. We just have one here. If you see this circle with a radius of 6. So let's make it a circle and center radius. I'll choose the correct point here. Make sure you use the object knob and make 6, enter. Now I got all the construction lines. I could make some trimming, so TR enter, or you can get trim, and then I'm gonna select all and then I trim that parts. Okay. Also I'm gonna make some trimming here. We don't need all these lines. Okay, so finish the trimming. And then what we will do is move on to other layer. I'm gonna keep the 0 layer for now. We can create another layer if we want for different objects. Now what we will do is start drawing the circles. The first circle here we have diameter. As you see, we have the symbol of diameter. So we need to make sure it is the diameter, not the radius. So center diameter, pick the correct point, and this is 1.25. Okay, the other one, the diameter is here. As you see, 2 times diameter is 1. So I'm gonna choose center diameter and pick the correct point, 1, enter. I'm gonna copy that. I could draw it one more time, but I'm gonna copy it this time. So I choose copy, select the circle, right click to accept it or just enter. Take this point, which is the center, and move it to the center of, or the intersection of the lines. So we created these circles. Now what we will do is create the other circles, which is the bigger ones, 1.25 the radius. So I will go circle, center radius, pick the point inside. I'm gonna pick the point. Make sure you pick the correct one. And then it is 1.5, so you type 1.25, sorry, so this is the one. Since they are all of them the same, I can copy. So I click on copy, select the circle, enter, then from center to center to center. I copied the circle 3 times. Now we need to create the circle on the top here. For that, I just have, I see tangents, the 2 circles. I don't have the radius or the diameter, but I could pick the point for the radius. So I will go to the circle, tangent, tangent, radius. I'll tangent the first circle, tangent the second circle, and then specify radius. If I know the radius, I'll type it. If not, I'll choose 1 point and 1 point. So these 2 points make the radius. Okay, so you can just pick the points that make the radius. Now let's trim. Let's trim or TR enter. If we need to select all, we click enter. Then we could start trimming. We don't need these parts, so I'm gonna trim them. This one I should delete it. I cannot trim it because it's not part or between two edges. So now I had this part. Now I need to draw the line, which is tangents. So we go to line, and when you see the tangent symbol, you click, and when you see the tangent symbol again, you click, then enter. The last part here outside is fillet. So we go to fillet. Okay, click on fillet, and we need to decide on the radius. So R enter or just click on the radius, and the radius here is 2.5. So I'm gonna put 2.5, enter, then pick this circle with left click and this circle. So I created the fillet in the center. Now it's time to create the inner part, the middle here, and I'm gonna use offset to copy this line to inside, and all of them the same offset, which is 0.75. So we go to offset from the modify menu, the home tab. You click on offset. Now you need to decide the distance. So we can type 0.75, enter. Now you pick the line that you need to offset it and the direction. Since I don't need to offset outside, I need to give the direction inside. Then left click the mouse to accept that. Hit enter, enter. Okay, so you activate the command one more time. Okay, so I offsetted all the lines inside. The distance is 0.75. Okay, now when I finish, I need to do the radius, and as you see here we have round fillet 0.5. So I will use fillet, and this time I'll choose the radius 0.5, and then I will pick, as you see here, I'll pick these lines, enter, these lines, enter, these lines with a circle, enter. So you can repeat putting enter to just repeat the commands. Okay, so enter. The last thing I believe we need to do here is some more trimming. So TR enter or just get the trim now, and let's TR enter, select all. When you have it all, click enter, and then start cleaning up. It's always recommended to zoom in just to make sure you cleaned everything up. Okay, so zoom in, and you can pan and zoom in just to make sure that you are cleaning up all the parts that we don't need. Okay, I think that's it. So what we did with this exercise, we created a layer, and as you see here, the layer, if I turn the lamp here on or off, if I turn it off, so it doesn't exist. If I turn it on, it is there. Always it's recommended to use layers for your work, because if it's one layer, you cannot control what lines you see, or you cannot control what objects you need to print later. So it's very recommended to give a layer a name and color and line type, and use your layers as much as you can to organize your object. We use several commands here for modify, offset, trim, copy. We use fillet. Also, we use several circles and lines. I hope that useful. Thank you for watching.